Liam Bennett never thought he'd be questioned in his own bank. Yet, there he was, standing at the counter, staring at the teller who had just refused to give him his own money. Not because there was an issue with his account, not because of any clerical error, but simply because of who they thought he was. Liam had built his life from scratch, brick by brick, climbing from the rough neighborhoods of Detroit to the pinnacle of corporate success. He never flaunted his wealth. He believed success spoke for itself. Ironically, he now stood inside the very institution he owned, wearing nothing more than a weathered leather jacket and a faded baseball cap, being treated like an outsider. This wasn't just a minor inconvenience. It was a brutal reminder that no matter how high he climbed, the shadows of prejudice always lingered. But today wasn't about a simple bank withdrawal. Liam had come here with a purpose, one that would leave a lasting impact. By the time he left, everyone in that bank would realize exactly who they had underestimated. Liam entered the bank with steady steps, his demeanor calm, though his mind was razor sharp. He'd encountered situations like this before, not in this specific bank, but in moments that echoed this same uneasy energy. It was the kind of moment when the air subtly shifts, when glances linger a beat too long, and judgments are made before a single word is spoken. This was supposed to be a routine visit, grab some cash and go. But as he approached the counter, he sensed something was off. The teller barely glanced up at first. The name tag on his chest read Tyler. His eyes flicked up at Liam, and for a split second, a shadow of doubt, maybe even discomfort, crossed his face before it was masked with cold indifference. "Can I help you?" Tyler asked, his tone flat. "I'd like to withdraw $5,000, Liam replied, pulling his wallet from his jacket. Tyler's eyebrow arched slightly, fingers drumming against the polished counter. "ID." Liam slid both his bank card and his ID across the counter. He'd done this countless times before, but something about Tyler's energy was different off. Tyler took his time, flipping the ID between his fingers, scrutinizing it longer than necessary before finally typing the account number into his computer. Agonizingly slow. His eyes darted back and forth between the screen and Liam before his lips tightened into a dismissive line. "Yeah, we can't do that," Tyler said, pushing the ID and card back toward him. Liam blinked, patience already wearing thin. "Excuse me, we don't keep that much cash on hand," Tyler replied with a forced casualness. "And even if we did, you need to request it in advance." Liam inhaled slowly, pushing down the frustration that simmered beneath the surface. He'd spent years perfecting the art of restraint, of not giving people like Tyler the reaction they expected. But there was something about the smug tone in the teller's voice that cut deeper than usual. "Is that so?" Liam asked evenly. Tyler shrugged. "Just following protocol. Also, we need to verify the source of the funds." There it was, the buried implication beneath the bureaucratic jargon. Liam had heard it before in different places in different forms. He leaned in slightly. "Are you implying my money isn't legitimate?" Tyler smirked, a smug, self-assured expression that made Liam's blood boil. "I'm saying there are rules." Liam had options. He could end this charade with one phone call, pull rank, and have this resolved in seconds. But that wasn't the point. He wasn't here for convenience. He was here to make a statement. "I see," Liam said coolly, steel threading his voice. "Then check again." Tyler's confidence faltered, his fingers hesitating over the keyboard. "Sir, even if—" No, Liam's voice dropped into something colder, unmistakably authoritative. Again, Tyler swallowed hard, but followed the order. His fingers moved reluctantly, eyes scanning the screen until something caught his attention. His face stiffened. Liam noticed immediately. "Problem." Tyler hesitated, then admitted, "There's a note on your account." Liam tilted his head. "And what does it say?" "Large withdrawals require management approval," Tyler muttered, shrinking under Liam's steady gaze. Liam's jaw tightened. "So, you refused me without even checking that first." Tyler opened his mouth, clearly scrambling for an excuse, but before he could speak, the heavy glass doors at the front of the bank swung open. A tall man in an immaculate gray suit strode in. His eyes swept the room and locked onto Liam in an instant. Recognition flickered across his face. "Mr. Bennett," the man called, his voice laced with nervous respect. Liam didn't need to ask. This was Marcus Hale, the regional manager. Tyler's entire demeanor collapsed in on itself, confidence evaporating as Marcus hurried over. "I wasn't aware you'd be visiting today," Marcus said quickly, attempting to mask the rising panic in his voice. "Neither was I," Liam replied, a knowing smile tugging at the corner of his mouth. Marcus glanced between Liam and Tyler, piecing together what had just transpired. "Is there an issue here?" Liam let the silence hang for a beat before gesturing toward Tyler. "Apparently, your staff need a refresher on company policy. I was just denied access to my own money." Marcus paled, his throat bobbing as he swallowed hard. "Mr. Bennett, I assure you, that is absolutely not." "I know," Liam cut in smoothly, "but it still happened." Tyler, now visibly shrinking behind the counter, looked like he wanted to vanish entirely. Liam fixed him with a pointed look. "You didn't even try to figure out who I was. You just assumed." The entire bank had fallen into a tense hush. Customers, tellers, and employees were all watching now. "This," Liam said, voice steady and clear, "is exactly what people mean when they talk about unfair treatment." He turned his attention back to Marcus. "You will personally audit this branch. Every complaint, every training session, everything. And you'll report directly to me." Marcus nodded, so hard it looked painful. "Of course, Mr. Bennett. And as for him," Liam gestured to Tyler, "he's done." Tyler gaped, his mouth opening and closing like he wanted to protest, but no words came out. Marcus didn't hesitate. Understood. Liam calmly gathered the stack of bills Tyler had finally withdrawn and slipped them into his jacket. He glanced around the room, his next words carrying a deliberate weight. "This was never about the money. It's about respect. And if I ever have to come back here for something like this again." He let the silence stretch. "It won't end with just a warning." And with that, Liam Bennett walked out, leaving behind a bank that would never forget the day they tried to deny their own CEO. As he stepped out into the cool air, the weight of the moment settled over him. Not anger, but clarity. This wasn't about one teller or one bad experience. It was about something deeper, something that had followed him his entire life. No matter how high he climbed, there would always be people who judged first and asked questions later. But today, he hadn't just walked away. He made them see it, hear it, understand it. Because next time, it might not be someone with power walking through those doors. And that person deserved respect too. Liam glanced back at the building, knowing that change wouldn't come overnight, but it had started. And sometimes that's enough.